Hello, and welcome. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and welcome to my channel. I am an author, speaker, seminar leader, and on this show, I talk about how to expand your world of thought, explore the world of positive thinking, law of attraction, and consciousness. From many points of view, I intend to share with you information that will enlighten and empower you in your life. I am here to encourage you to think in the positive and show that miracles can happen. I truly believe that you have been given the power of the word and thought to create the life that you desire. So yes, welcome to my show. And for those of you who are new to this, welcome. For those of you who have been subscribers for a while, welcome back. If you are new, please like and subscribe this and share this information with the people that you care about, that you want them to create the life that they desire. All right, I'm continuing on with Florence Scovel Shinn, and I originally recorded this particular item from The Secret Door to Success. That's what I'm reading from, a series of addresses given by Mrs. Shinn. I originally recorded this in September of 2022. However, when I recorded this, I was doing a recording talking about Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and how they were creating a life on their own. Now, I could give you a link and let you listen to that one, but I felt that I should re-record this, speaking strictly from the point of view of Mrs. Shinn. And many of you may know the story about bricks without straw, but I'm going to just read from you and do my commentary, of course, of what Mrs. Shinn wrote. So this particular address was called Bricks Without Straw. There shall no straw be given you, yet ye shall make bricks without straw. And this came from Exodus, the 5th chapter, the 18th verse. In the 5th chapter of Exodus, we have a picture of everyday life when giving a metaphysical interpretation. The children of Israel were in bondage to Pharaoh, the cruel taskmaster, ruler of Egypt. They were kept in slavery, making bricks, and were hated and despised. Moses had orders from the Lord to deliver his people from bondage. Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, "Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold the feast unto me in the wilderness." Well, I think about this, and it wasn't a major request that was given to Pharaoh. Let my people go, that they may hold the feast unto me in the wilderness. Now, when I read this, I don't think about, and this is Beverly talking, this isn't Florence, I don't think about them being totally released from slavery, but allow them some days off to go and do a feast in the wilderness. They were doing, different things at the time. They had different feasts back then. I don't remember what they all were, but just think about that. All right. So, let's continue. He not only refused to let them go, but told them he would make their task even more difficult. They must make bricks without straw being provided to them. So Pharaoh got upset, right? He said, "Who are you to come tell me to let the Israelites go into the wood and do a feast to this unknown God to me, because remember, the Egyptians had their own gods, Ra being one of them. And the taskmasters of the people went out, and their officers, and they spake to the people, saying, Thus saith Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go ye, get you straw where you can find it, yet not aught of your work shall be diminished. Now, what that meant was, if they were supposed to make 100 bricks when they were given straw, they had to make 100 bricks that day, gathering their own straw, gathering their own things for that. It was impossible to make bricks without straw. The children of Israel were completely crushed by Pharaoh. They were beaten for not producing bricks. Then came the message from Jehovah. Go therefore now and work, for there shall be no straw given you, yet shall ye deliver the tale number of bricks. So, they weren't given the straw, but they were supposed to make the same number of bricks. Working with spiritual law, they could make bricks without straw, which means to accomplish the seemingly impossible. All right, let's check that out again. Working with spiritual law, they could make bricks without straw, which means to accomplish the seemingly impossible. How many times have you done things that you thought were impossible? How many times have you been given a task to do and you saw no way to accomplish it? Some of you may not have accomplished it, and many of you accomplished it and were amazed at the fact you got it done. Reminds me of an assignment that a manager once gave me. He gave it to me. I said, okay. I didn't push back. I didn't say anything. I gathered my team together. Now, I wasn't a manager. This was just a group of us on my team. I gathered us into a room and I said, here's what I have to find out. What can we do to do this? I got the answer. I sent up a report to him. And when it came time for my yearly evaluation, we were talking about this. I don't know if he was dumb. I don't know why he bothered to even voice this. But he said to me, yeah, when I gave you that, I didn't think you could get it done. I was in so much shock when he said that. I didn't say anything. I just looked at him like he was crazy. Bricks without straw. This is people not having confidence in what you can do, and you turn around and do it. Think about that for yourself. All right, let me continue. How often in life people are confronted with this situation? Just what I said. Agnes M. Lawson, in her Hints to Bible Students, says, the life in Egypt under foreign oppression is the symbol of man under the hard taskmasters of destructive thinking, pride, fear, resentment, ill will, etc. The deliverance under Moses is the freedom man gains from the taskmasters as he learns the law of life. For we can never come under grace except we first know the law. The law must be made known in order to be fulfilled. So you must know the law. And many of you out there who are listening to this have never been introduced to the law. The law is my shepherd, I shall not want. The law. So let's listen. In the 111th Psalm, we read in the final verse, "The fear of the Lord, law, is the beginning of wisdom." So law is in parentheses in this reading. The fear of the Lord, the law, is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. Now, if we read the word Lord, law, it will give us the key to the statement. The fear of the law, karmic law, is the beginning of wisdom, not the fear of the Lord. When we know that, whatever we send out comes back, we begin to be afraid of our own boomerangs. I read in a medical journal the following facts telling of the boomerang this great Pharaoh received. It would appear that flesh is indeed heir to long and ancient lines of ills, when, as was revealed by Lord Monyadhan at a lecture at Leeds, that the Pharaoh of the oppression suffered from hardening of the heart in a literal sense. Lord Monyadhan showed some remarkable photographic slides of results of surgical operations 1,000 years before Christ. And among these was a slide of the actual anatomical remains of the Pharaoh of the oppression. The large vessel springing from the heart was in such a well-preserved state as to enable sections of it to be made and compared with those made recently from the lantern slide. It was impossible to distinguish between the ancient and modern vessel. Both hearts had been attacked by atheroma, A-T-H-E-R-O-M-A, a condition in which calcium salts are deposited in the walls of the vessel, making it rigid and inelastic. Well, that's interesting. So they found that his heart had actually been hardened by calcium? Wow. Let's read some more. Inadequate expanse to the stream of blood from the heart caused the vessel to give way. With this condition, listen to this. With this condition, with the mental changes that occur with a rigid arterial system, a narrowness of outlook, restriction and dread of enterprise, a literal hardening of the heart. So Pharaoh's hardness of heart hardened his own heart. This is as true today as it was several thousand years ago. We are all coming out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Your doubts and fears keep you in slavery. You face a situation which seems hopeless. You can do. What can you do? It is a case of making bricks without straw. But remember the words of Jehovah. Go therefore now and work, for there shall no straw be given you, yet shall ye deliver the tale or the number of bricks. You shall make bricks without straw. God makes a way where there is no way. I was told the story of a woman who needed money for her rent. It was necessary to have it at once. She knew of no channel. She had exhausted every avenue. However, she was a truth student and kept making her affirmations. Her dog whined and wanted to go out. She put on his leash and walked down the street in the accustomed direction. However, the dog pulled at his leash and wanted to go in another direction. She followed, and in the middle of the block, opposite an open park, she looked down and picked up a roll of bills, which exactly covered her rent. She looked for ads, but never found the owner. There were no houses near where she found it. The reasoning mind, the intellect, takes the throne of Pharaoh in your consciousness. It says continually, it can't be done. What's the use? We must drown out these dreary suggestions with a vital affirmation. For example, take this statement. The unexpected happens. My seemingly impossible good now comes to pass. This stops all argument from the army of aliens, the reasoning mind. The unexpected happens. This is an idea it cannot cope with. Thou hast made me wiser than mine enemies. Your enemy thoughts, your doubts, fears, and apprehensions. Think of the joy of Okay, let me start that again. Think of the joy of really being free forever from the Pharaoh of the oppression. To have the idea of security, health, happiness, and abundance established in the subconscious. It would mean a life free from all limitations. It would be the kingdom which Jesus Christ spoke of, where all things are automatically added unto us. I say automatically added unto us because all life is vibration. And when we vibrate to success, happiness, and abundance, the things which symbolize these states of consciousness will attach themselves to us. Feel rich and successful, and suddenly you receive a large check or a beautiful gift. I tell the story showing the working of this law. I went to a party where people played games, and whoever won received a gift. The prize was a beautiful fan. Among those present was a very rich woman who had everything. Her name was Clara. The poor and resentful ones got together and whispered, "We hope Clara doesn't get the fan." Of course, Clara won the fan. She was carefree and vibrating to abundance. Envy and resentment short-circuit your good and keep away your fans. If you should happen to be resentful and envious, take the statement, "What God has done for others, He now does for me and more." Then all the fans and things will come your way. No man gives to himself but himself, and no man takes away from himself but himself. The game of life is a game of solitaire. As you change, all conditions will change. Now go back to Pharaoh the oppressor. No one loves an oppressor. I remember a friend I had many years ago. Her name was Letty. Her father had plenty of money and supplied her mother and herself with food and clothes, but no luxuries. We went to art school together, and all the students would buy reproductions of The Winged Victory, Whistler's Mother, or something to bring art into their homes. My friend's father called all these things plunder. He would say, "Don't bring home any plunder." So she lived a colorless life without a winged victory on her bureau or Whistler's Mother on the wall. He would say often to my friend and her mother, "When I die, you'll both be well off." One day someone said to Letty, "When are you going abroad?" All art students went abroad. She replied cheerfully, "Not till Papa dies." So people always look forward to being free from lack and oppression. Let us now free ourselves from the tyrants of negative thinking. We have been slaves to doubts, fears, and apprehension, and let us be delivered as Moses delivered the children of Israel, and come out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Find the thought which is your oppressor. Find the Kingpin. In logging camps in the spring, the logs are sent down the river in great numbers. Sometimes the logs become crossed and cause a jam. The men look for the log causing the jam. They call it the Kingpin. Straighten it, and the logs rush down the river again. Maybe your Kingpin is resentment. Resentment holds back your good. The more you resent, the more you will have to resent. You grow a resentment track in your brain, and your expression will be one of habitual resentment. You will be avoided and miss the golden opportunities which await you each day. I remember a few years ago the streets were filled with men selling apples. They got up early to get the good corners. I passed one several times on Park Avenue. He had the most disagreeable expression I have ever seen. As people passed, he said, "Apples, apples," but no one stopped to buy. I invested in an apple and said, "You'll never sell apples unless you change your expression." He replied, "Well, that guy over there took my corner." I said, "Never mind about the corner. You can sell apples right here if you look pleasant." He said, "Okay, lady," and I went on. The next day I saw him, his whole expression had changed. He was doing a big business selling apples with a smile. So find your Kingpin. You may have more than one, and your logs of success, happiness, and abundance will go rushing down your river. Go therefore now and work, for there shall be no straw be given you, yet ye shall make bricks without straw. So what is your Kingpin? What is the thing that is holding you back? Just as the apples guy, he wasn't smiling. He was mad. He was upset because that was his corner over there and he took it. And so what was going on in his head, he was looking at that guy on the corner saying, "He took my corner and that's where all the people buy my apples." And he was just upset. Think about it. How many times have you said, "That person took my job," or "That person did this," or "I can't do this because I'm over here"? And then all you have to do is change your attitude. Change it to turn it into a positive. Change it. I used to do craft shows, and I knew that if I didn't have a smile on my face and welcome people to my booth and engage them into my products, I wouldn't sell anything. If I just sat behind the booth, and I've watched many people do this, just sat behind the booth and they were reading a book or they were doing something else, and I'd look at the stuff, they didn't even say hello. When I came to the booth, "Can I help you? Is there something that I may show you?" Or "Let me show you this." Nothing. And so I went on to the next booth, because something in their booth might have caught my attention, and I purchased it. So I remembered that when I was doing my flea market stand or my craft show booth. Smile. Keep a smile on your face. Walking down the street, you might shock a few people. Have a smile on your face. Speak. Just that change in your attitude may make a change in what goes on in your life. Find your Kingpin. Find your Kingpins, because you'll find one and then you might find another and another. And as you clean those away, that log jam of abundance will be cleared and your life will begin to change. Thank you for being with me today. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and be sure to like and subscribe and share this information with the people that you know. And as you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so, and I'll see you in the next video.